Good afternoon. My name is Eileen Wefler, and I'm going to do my strategic analysis on the Walt Disney Company. So first, I'm going to talk about the aim of my project. I chose to look further into the Walt Disney Company, specifically the theme parks themselves, because some of the things I aim to find is a deeper analysis and if they're contributing to their company. This will be done by conducting various tests and evaluations. Some of these are SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, PESTLE, and Porter's 5 Forces framework. The SWOT analysis will determine the company's strengths and weaknesses, but also turn those weaknesses into the strengths and use the threats to kind of create opportunities to negate those threats. I will figure out how the company can turn opportunities into something else and improve on the weaknesses as well. PESTLE will help determine the external environment of the company. And a plan is going to be created of how to use the external factors to the company's advantage and potentially turn those into strengths. Also, with Porter's 5 Forces framework, it's going to determine my best competitive advantage and profit potential of the industry. The methodology I used is trying to contact the managers I've worked with in the past at Disney World and really get how they like managing it and their human resources point of view, and just a good inside look of the Disney Company. I also did a lot of research on other sources, and I used my experiences from being in the Disney College program and the Disney Alumni program as well. For the history of the company, Disney has been around for quite some time. It extends all the way back to the 1920s, where it began as a simple cartoon studio and is still continuing the legacy of entertaining families with classic, unforgettable stories and entertainment ever since. Today, it has operations in more than 40 countries and territories, and they can reach people from all areas around the globe and share the world of imagination. Through the distinguished theme parks, resorts, consumer products, media networks, and studio entertainment, they offer an extraordinary experience to all, whether they're traveling to one of their destinations or creating memories within their own home. The mission for Walt Disney World is to retain large market shares in the entertainment industry and continue to dominate the market over current and future competitors. Their main goal is to utilize innovative practices and offer customers an unforgettable experience of imagination and fun. Walt Disney World currently gears its marketing towards a broad spectrum of people. Disney World's unique in that its target market extends to people of all ages. It's not just specifically little kids or specifically teenagers. A large portion of the segment does include families in the upper to middle class. Disney World has done this by offering various attractions such as water parks, parades, live animal attractions, live shows, and music, on-site hotels, extravagant dining options, and much more. One of Disney World's greatest strengths is the brand recognition. Many generations have grown up with Disney stores, and the Disney theme parks bring these stories to life and allow Disney World to give people an experience of a lifetime. With the acquisition of 20th Century Fox, Lucasfilms, and some other ones in the works, Disney is going to still be a really reputable brand. With such high brand recognition and loyalty, Disney World's goal extends to bringing in new customers to the Disney experience and taking the steps to make sure past guests keep coming back. The PESTLE analysis is for political, and that's the very first segment of the PESTLE. Political typically deals with trades and regulations of a company. In Disney's case, there are political differences that can create an obstacle for international trade. There's also huge tax cuts from the animation side, and tighter regulation regarding product safety must be enforced. The economical factors are obstacles that create or deplete financial means, and Walt Disney being such a major company, the global financial crisis is slowing down growth. Emerging markets offer a significant advantage in salaries and overall cost of production. Disney's popular worldwide though, not just locally, which means it helps the per capita income, the economic development, and economic growth. These all must be considered in many countries rather than just one. Social is all of the technical trends for the industry. Disney genuinely tries in this because of all the new and innovative ideas this company creates. The Disney app is a major component with keep in league of the social trends in smartphones, tablets, and apps. It's updated weekly, and it includes maps of the theme parks, or it includes the store. It includes what has wait times and what food is good, and if the food has allergies. The Walt Disney Company made sure to be something for everyone, from 8 months to 80 years. And with this comes a change in customers' preferences for entertainment. Rather than focusing on one target market, Disney expands to include all of them. Technology's always evolving, and Disney has noticed this by evolving as well. The technology's factors have a significant impact on media. Apps, TV shows, internet. Disney has been around since before the 1920s, and the fact that this company does not just stand still, it's why it's still relevant today. There is a negative light to technology though. Changes in technology affect what consumers want. This can drastically skew products offered as well as the cost of producing. Environmental factors play a huge role, especially in the theme parks. Guests often wonder why the theme parks in America aren't in places with seasons. Snow, cold, other places besides Florida and California. That's because Disney World and Disneyland are both open 365 days of the year. If there is snow, Disney would have to close, and this would decrease the amount of revenue. Weather, climate, change, even endangered species are all factors of the environment that need to be paid attention to. As much as the resorts, theme parks, and shops are to the Disney name, legality issues focus on the entertainment aspects. Discrimination laws, copyrights, patents, and antitrust with superseding contracts are all things that need to be noticed. For the cast members, employment laws and health and safety laws must be enforced as well. Even with the guest, data must be protected at all times. These include keeping credit card, room keys, and confidential matters secure. The Porter's 5 Forces is a tool that analyzes competition within a business and was created by Michael Porter, whose main focus was to analyze a company's competition by 5 different forces. These forces are competitors in the industry, supplier power, buying power, substitutes, and new corners. Porter's 5 forces are used to analyze the industry as a whole. The threat of new entrants for Disney is considered at a medium length right now because there are several big entertainment companies, but Disney still reigns supreme, especially with the acquisition of 20th Century Fox, as I mentioned earlier. However, there can be smaller companies with lower structures that can impact the market. Threat of substitutes seem to be quite high. Last month alone, Universal Studios and Walt Disney Company were going neck to neck with exciting and innovative ideas. This and many other competitors in each segment generate many options and cause substitutes to be substantial. Bargain power of supplies is definitely low. Disney choosing to take the vertical integration route decreases this. Bargain power of buyers is high. The products Disney provides are a want, not a need. They are luxury items and not necessities, which means price-conscious consumers will not want to buy them. For instance, many families save up in order to go to the theme parks. This is not something many families can afford every day or every week. Some go with years in between. Some only go once. Rivalry among firms is incredibly high right now. There's big competition against Disney with every sector of their market. These include broadcast rights, theme parks, viewing figures, box offices, and any of the other brands Disney has under their huge umbrella of hospitality. For the operations, there is a huge operating cost because of one simple fact, and that's all the resources that it takes to create a theme park. It takes, on average, $3 million every single day to run a theme park. It's essential for Disney to run as smooth as all the conglomerate pieces do, and both operating and capital are going to be high expenses, which are required to keep the extensive theme parks open and running. Disney operates the largest theme parks in the world. The competitors don't even touch the margin. Of the 10 most visited theme parks in the world, 9 are run by Disney. Having such a competitive advantage comes with many different challenges, though. Disney's in the business of creating everlasting memories. Memories aren't everlasting nor happy if crowded theme parks and long wait times are happening. This poses a serious threat to their main product. The best companies see a challenge and innovate a new act to fix it. Disney did this when the Fast Pass was created. A long time ago, it used to be paper passes, where you would sign up for the rides you wanted, you wouldn't have to wait in that long line, you'd get a paper, you'd get 4 each day, and that would be it. And now they've created to introvert it into their app, and you can have about 10 each day rather than 4, and each person can have their own Fast Passes. They don't have to just be families anymore. It's now accessible days before their Disney vacation, which is really good too. HRM stands for Human Resource Management, and this is one of the areas Disney excels in. HRM at Disney is quite different than any other human resource organizational culture, and that's because of one little word: cast members. Not only are guests treated wonderfully through the Disney company, but cast members are expected to be treated the same as guests. People who work at Disney are not employees. Even the name cast member clearly defines that. Cast members are not just doing an hourly job, but they have to play a role and are expected to keep up with the show of Disney, much like their characters do. One of the segments of the interview process is even an attitude test, asking all sorts of personality-based questions. You can't change your personality, but anyone can drive a bus. That is a direct quote from the CEO, Bob Iger, of Disney. Walt's vision would not be fulfilled, and in turn, the vision of the Disney company would not be either, if it was not for these cast members. A quote by Walt Disney says it all. You can design and create and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make the dream a reality. Without people loving Disney, loving kids, and loving creating everlasting memories, Disney would not be the wonderful thing it is that everyone loves. Finances are essential for any company to be successful. The goal is to make more money than was to use to create the product. It is always a good idea to break even, and Disney has done more than this with revenue. The forecast in revenue for the Disney company is a 12-month forecast, for which they have a median target market of $123.50, a high estimate of $144,000, and a low estimate of $95,000. The median represents a 6.29 increase from the last price of $116.19, and the earnings per share that I found for the Disney company for the year of 2019 ranged at around $6.72 to $8.27. They had an estimated amount of $7 for the year, however. The reported earnings were at 7.08, and for this year alone, it's ranging from 6.67 to $8.04. with an estimate of 7.15. As for the marketing segment, they're made up of 37% media networks, which equals out to being $5.7 billion. That's right, $5.7 billion in the fiscal Q3. Advertising revenue takes in roughly $2.1 billion. 16% of the Walt Disney Company's total revenue comes out to being $13.1 billion in the fiscal quarter. Enough about finances. Now we're going to talk about the overall business strategy. In 2018, they changed their overall business strategy, and this was created because of the acquisition of, you guessed it, 20th Century Fox. They wanted to keep up to date with the ever-changing landscape of television, movies, global expansions, and growth-producing opportunities, which affected parks, consumer products, experience, media network, and even studio entertainment, which are 4 segments of the industry Disney holds a competitive advantage in. According to Bob Iger, we are strategically positioning our businesses for the future. Rather than having separate product segment and a theme park section, it has now been combined to include both parts. Disney's using their business strategy to explain how they'll accomplish those goals that coincide with the mission statement. The core and distinctive competencies are some of Disney's very fine qualities. The fact that they place the cast members above wants and needs. The fact that every single year they come up with a new character or a new story or a new movie. And the fact that the brand reputation is so held high. Those are all core competencies. And of course, there's that competitive advantage. And the competitive advantage is basically saying that of all the theme parks, of all the movies, of all the things that Disney has, they are rated among the top in every single one, which puts them above Universal Studios, above Worlds of Fun, above Six Flags, above everything because of the ones that I just stated in the competitive advantage. Their leadership, organizational culture, and challenges and problems come with every single company. But their organizational culture is relaxed and fun, and they create happy moments and magical moments. And not only do those get created for the guests, they get created for the cast members. How wonderful is it to see a little girl run up to you and say, I have always wanted to be at Disney, and now I am. Or it's my 2nd birthday, and my mom and dad chose to take me to Disney to celebrate it. That is one of the best things they give us in traditions, which is the training. And they basically talk about how of all the people in the entire world, you get to create everlasting magical moments. How amazing is that? But with every company, there are those problems. And if Disney doesn't improve their technologically advancements, their costs in operating, and deplete such the dramatic increase in revenue that's used to keep the theme parks going, they aren't going to be improved. They're just going to be at a standstill. My conclusions from this project are very simple, and it's that I haven't really thought much of the internal analysis as much as I had the external analysis when I was working there. After sitting down with the coordinator of Walt Disney World that I worked with, I learned how much goes into managing a theme park. Top-down strategic planning is used, and this ensures that all cast members are on the same page when making decisions and interacting with guests to create magic. The main goal is to make sure all guests have a trip of a lifetime and feel happiness. This is why Walt Disney World focuses on as much on guest relations as everything else. And this is how they differ from their competitors. It's also very important for businesses to conduct all of these analysis on themselves to see what's impacting their industry, as well as what they're doing well and what they need to focus more on. Some of my recommendations would be to increase the use of marketing to communicate with all guests rather than that commercial on TV with Cinderella running, which I've only seen a few times. This will have families thinking about Disney Company more frequently due to the advertisements and promotions, as well as targeting each generation rather than families or little kids. Target millennials, target the younger crowd. Epcot is used mostly for the mid-adults, but no one ever goes there because they don't think that Epcot's such a huge park. But there have been so many different advancements this year alone. I learned more than just about theme parks and business reports, but about time management, from interviewing managers to working together with those managers to complete this report, I realized how important it is to take time out of every day to finish a report like this, and how it's beneficial to the Walt Disney Company itself to make sure that their internal, their external, and all of those forces align. I picked the Walt Disney Company because I completed the college program and the alumni program, and I really enjoyed being a part of the magic and learned so much that I would love to create more happy moments in the future. Perhaps you'll see me give another magical moment once again. Thank you.